let me show you exactly how you're supposed to operate, how you're supposed to move, the way you need to walk, the way you need to talk. And it ain't fake because when you come back up and you tell your story, that's where you relate to every single person out there in the world. That's you. That's real. That's real for you. And it's real for me being the person, one guiding the way, being a leader, and then turning around and being like, I'm the guy behind. I'm not only the guy in front, but I'm the guy here, pushing everybody to go forward.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
Guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. Today we've got a heavy-handed guest, to say the least. Number 4 ranked heavyweight in power slap. They call him the Hawaiian Assassin. Why do they call him that? Because he's Hawaiian and he assassinates folks. Pono Pau, how are you, my friend?
What's going on, Sped, man? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Pono, the intro to our show is me jumping out of my seat to your finish on
Come on, bro. I love it. I watch that every time I watch that match over and over. Is that part right there where I get your natural reaction where you're up there and you're like, whoa, like it couldn't be any better, man.
Yeah,
Couldn't be any better.
it was my first power slap event, and I noticed after he was in a very unlucky position because the first one really rocked him. He flinched, so he had to take it again.
Yeah,
Respect to him for not quitting on that one.
for sure. He's got an iron chin. You know, he doesn't have that name for no reason. You know.
Yeah, he could have just quit because he had to take another one of those, but you delivered it well, and his reaction was big, and it got all of us out of our seat. Jalen Clark was sitting behind me; he was having a great time. Um, you you were you always a big dude? Because after the finish, you hit us with some good moves. You move pretty well for a big guy.
So little backstory to that is maybe about a day or two before the actual like weigh-ins, social media team for Power Slap, they had us meet with Thunder from Down Under people. And they did a whole entire show. They showed us some moves, and one of the highlights of that was one of the guys going out there and said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna teach you a specific move. It's called the dolphin." So he hits it and just in a regular form, just kind of jumping up, brace on the hands, kind of roll with the body. And I'm looking at that, and I've been pretty athletic all my life. There's a really popular area in Hawaii called Waimea Bay, where it's just a giant rock in the middle of the ocean. And during the summer times, everybody goes out there and they kind of do this whole competition where everybody's jumping off and they're practice bombing and who got the biggest splash. And I've always been really athletic, so I seen that and I was like, okay, I could do this, dude. 265-pound, 266-pound man. I can jump up there and do it. And I hit it on the first try. And then he tried to one up me and was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, if you could do the regular dolphin, then you could do the advanced dolphin. He didn't even show it. He just hit it. I said, okay, show me that again one more time. Did it one more time, and I just took off. I immediately jumped in the air, hit that little spin, did the dolphin, and the other people that were in the room with me, Isaiah and a few other strikers were like, Alan Cleanbild, they were just like, dude, Dante Smiley, how did this guy get up in the air like that? You know, is that then they tried it, and it was hard for them to put the coordination together. So right after that, AJ is like the main person for all the social media for Power Slap. She's like, you do that at the end of your match. She kind of manifested the win, but she was like, you do that at the end of your match, you're going to go viral and we're going to put that everywhere. So I said, okay, it's done.
So I have a lot of questions. The first one, how did you get, like, were you always athletic? Were you always a bigger guy? What sports did you play?
So I obviously got into football. I went to a Koku High School, and it's like probably one of the number one high schools for recruitment for any of the NFL players. And started off with football. Didn't really find my home in that, and transitioned to baseball. Played baseball for about 2.5 years, made it to All-Stars, and after doing the whole baseball thing, I kind of just fell off of sports in general. I mean, I was always interested in football, baseball, and just kind of in the following, but not really actually going out there and practicing, competing, being out there on the field. So,
Were you this current size playing baseball?
no, smaller. A little bit smaller. Yeah, I would say probably about 220, 215 pounds. I'm 265 now, but I
Yeah.
used to be a light heavyweight.
Yeah,
So even when I was
you
playing.
don't look like 265. Like, you don't look like there's a lot of excess on your body at all. But in the, like for example, for heavyweight, is 265 the heavyweight limit?
266 with the
What's the
pound
super
threshold.
heavyweight limit?
So what was that? Say that again.
The super heavyweight limit.
Super heavyweight goes from 266 and maxed out. So they really don't have a cap, which they should. You know, obviously it's at one point you got to kind of look at where it's on the healthier side of it. Like, hey, you know what? We don't want people to be out here 500, 400 something plus, 500 something plus
And getting
pounds.
knocked out.
And yeah, it's a lot. It's lots of for people to do with you having the catchers trying to
Yeah.
make sure that they don't get hurt in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it goes from 266 and all the way up. But I think the biggest heavyweight we have right now is probably he comes in around like 400 and super heavyweight 415,
Is that
420
dumpling?
pounds. Dumpling, McKinney's a big dude, but he's very athletic. Like, he obviously is really into sports. So, and then he trains, like volleyball girls and all the other stuff. So he's very active, and he's done sumo wrestling. So he's a 300 and like 80, 390 pound monster. But he's very athletically. I mean, he probably could do the dolphin too.
Big guys. Anyone who grew up a big guy that was into sports always
Hmm.
had to prove their athleticism.
But yeah,
That's why you see a lot of like big dudes, but they're like athletic in a weird way.
uh-huh,
You
uh-huh.
know? Yeah, yeah. That was me until I passed the limit. That's for sure.
It's got
Whenever you're not playing competitive sports anymore, whenever you're not like, whenever you don't care to win a pickup basketball game anymore, I
right,
think you lose it, right?
right, right,
Because
right.
back
Yeah, it's
then
just
when we
hold
were
on.
younger, I was telling my mom this yesterday. I was like, when I was a kid, and I used to go play basketball at lunch under the sun, and go to the next class all sweaty and stuff, and I would feel so disgusting. But really, that was like the healthiest version of me, you know, getting the sunlight, sweating the whole time, playing and running because you want to win a game, not playing and not running because, oh, this is my regimen now. Oh, my trainer is making me run and stuff. So, back to you though. Back to you. The James Seekman knockout at Power Slap 13 was a loss that you avenged. How did
Yes.
that feel? You lost to him in your second bout, and then here you go on one of the biggest, probably the biggest Power Slap card of all time, because it was supposed to have three title fights, but it had two title fights.
Hmm.
One of the best Power Slap cards of all time. How did it feel avenging your loss on that stage?
It felt really good, and especially knowing that I was well prepared. I was going out there to make sure that I make a statement this time around, and I take out all the factors that already was kind of going against me. While I was in the house on season 3, Road to the Title, and I was able to fight James Seekman during that time, I was 245 pounds. So I didn't have the full weight on me, and just me being the person that I am, I analyze everything that I do. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not 245 pounds. I got to get maximum weight, especially knowing your opponent is, there's a lot of key factors that you got to look at when you look at, going out there and doing any kind of sport, right? You got to size up your opponent. You got to know exactly their regimen, what they're doing, how they're moving, if they're practicing, if they're not practicing, and you just got to study. And I studied James, and I knew that he was going through some things, and that was kind of hindering him from being able to hold that weight on. He's got a lot of other issues that was happening at the time, and I know that he was just still continuing to try to be a competitor in the sport, especially after having a long layover from challenging Nate Bernard in a international card, and then coming back. He looked more healthy than he was. He looked more healthy on the international card than he did when he was able to go out there and face me. And even leading up to that, meeting him in the hotel, kind of give him that hug, and he's looking at me and he's like, "Man, dude, you're maxed out. You're 260 something pounds right now." And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like but it's all part of the plan. I know where I was making the mistakes before, and then I've had other things like when I went on the season and my very first match against Devin Jenkins. Before I even got to even get into that match, my finger was broken. So I couldn't use my dominant hand. I had to retrain and refocus on using my left hand to be able to fight Devin Jenkins. And then immediately after that, I had a small reverse Bennett fracture. So not only did I break this pinky, but I had a small reverse Bennett fracture on the bottom of my hand when I fought James Seekman about 4 to 5 days later. So
Wow.
I've been able to, go into something where at the most adverse moments and make that full comeback, full turnaround because of the. I mean, I just have a heart. I know what it takes to be a champion. I know what it takes to be the next thing uprising in this sport, and I just put all effort towards it. And I'm low key obsessed with the sport as it is right now. So knowing that I was going against James Seekman and being able to avenge my loss from the show, I mean, that was probably the most, I don't know, I don't want to say embarrassing, but more of like, I mean, I'm a big dude and I'm pretty much known for not getting knocked out. And then James goes and puts me down in the second round and in a fashionable way. So, I mean, everything kind of points its direction to me getting this win just puts that staple on it, just saying, hey, you know what? Outside of having all these adverse things happen, I got to make sure that I'm well prepared all the way around, whether I've got to be maxed weight, whether my technique has to be on point. I switched up my style. I usually go and I created a style called the lean on one, me and my younger brother, Kelly. And that's been our go-to, that we just attack on that first swing, first hit. And it wasn't until I had a few calls with my cousin back home in Hawaii, and he's like analyzing me just like how I would analyze myself. And he said, hey, I think you should go on two. I think you should try to attack on
And
three.
that's what you did against Seekman.
And I applied it exactly. And it's like, at those moments where you put it to what you were trying to do already. You apply it to yourself, and I was able to go out there and try to deliver on two, and I generated a little bit more power than what I would do on one.
You have your cousin over there in Hawaii just analyzing your performances, watching his own cousin, and looking at everything. And it's like, I love to hear that because in my community, if we have a fighter and he performs not at the best level, you got everybody in the comments, do this, do that. Everybody becomes a coach, but there's actually a positive side to that too. A lot of times people look at that negatively. There's actually a positive side to that too, because sometimes others see things. It's like science, right? Everybody brings a different, perception to the table and
Hmm.
a different possibility to the table, and at the table, and through that you might find some gold. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
there's a YouTube channel called the Fight Lab, um, and it analyzes UFC fights and stuff. And it got a lot of recognition from UFC fighters because they're like, "Oh, cool," like I didn't even notice that, you know. So on top of that, you have somebody that actually cares about you, giving the opinion. When you have that strong bond with people, you know how it is. You have brothers, right?
Yeah.
So if your brother tells you something, you don't take that offensively. You know that he has your best interest at heart. So that's so important in a support system. Anderson Silva had an interview with Andre Ward, and he said the way I was able to protect myself is because my inner circle is so strong that they protected me.
Hmm.
So as you rise through stardom, this is very important things to take notes on. You have a lot of potential. All your wins are knockouts, and I see that you are all about it. You're obsessed with the game. Um, but let me ask you this, Bono.
Let's go.
Um, Power slap is new. The sport is new. So everyone's just trying to find it. Like everyone, a lot of people think, "Oh, what is it? It's just people slapping each other." But then when you get a little bit interested into this sport, you're trying to find out the little details. And you mentioned something earlier that was so interesting to me. You said that before the power slap event, you guys have meetings with the social media.
Yes.
Why and how? Can you explain that a little for us?
Yeah, yeah. So during fight week, they have a set regimen of one day is where it's complete media. You have to go in there. You're doing all the photos. You're doing the videos. You're putting on the uniform, and they're doing what's called the lead up to the actual bout that you're about to have. So they all the videos that you guys see where it's like me clapping my hands in the background, me doing all anything that's like really captivating, it's because the social media team is putting together this set arrangement so that way you can have all these moments to be able to, it's just like anything else. You're trying to push a brand, push a product. How do you do that? You do a coconut in the middle of a waterfall, and you do all these other things, right? There's a lot of captivating things
Yeah.
to be able to push the brand and push the product, and that's exactly what the social media team does. AJ and Aiden, they really work hard on making sure that they're competitors look very, very good out there. Whether and even where it comes to the point where you're able to speak, right? We want to hear just like now we're having an interview, a podcast, but we want to hear what's going to be your drive, what's going to be your motivation, why are you doing this, why are you here, and they capture all those moments to be able to stack it up so that way it makes you look like that ultimate person, right? That build up is key in this sport, and they do a lot of that for us throughout the whole entire week. So they'll set up events like when they do the international ones in Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. They go riding on the dunes, right? They go in the sands. They go to Ferrari World. They have people trying
Like
different
UFC
foods.
embedded.
Yeah, yeah, and they just really try to capture those moments to be able to build up the competitor as best as they possibly can.
Got it. So you guys work directly as a team with them to make the best content possible. Obviously, that might be a stupid question I'm asking, but nevertheless.
Yeah. Yeah. Nevertheless, yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, that's their job is to create content. Their job is to create moments, viral moments, and that's exactly what they do. Whether it be me training with Thunder from Down Under crew and learning the dolphin, or it's going out and doing actual events where the Power Slap strikers are coming together. Like if you watch the NOLA events or anything from their Power Slap IG, you're gonna see that they have all the power slap strikers walking down Bourbon Street, handing out beads to all these people. Those moments are moments that AJ, Aiden, and their specific team comes up with creativity and says, "Hey, you know what? Let's do this. I think it would be an awesome thing to capture. Let's go do something where you guys are eating those beignets." Like it's just moments that they try to capture for us, so that way it makes the sport look really, really good.
I love this company.
Yeah, it's
I really
amazing.
do. I really do.
It's
Because
amazing.
everyone's so cool, right? And I think the small group of media that's surrounding this company right now, everybody knows each other. The athletes are very humble. Um, at Babyface, I always mention him in every interview. I don't know why, but it's because this guy gave us a chance. Did a episode with us. No one knew about us. He's undefeated welterweight champion. So, like, we really appreciate that. Like, the responses, even the fact that people respond to us and do this show with us. And I've,
Mhm.
I've got a lot of success in the power slap uh, area, and I didn't think that I would be into power slap, but I really do love power slap. Now let me ask you this: this company is so new, and so like the community is very tight knit. Like it's almost like it feels like everybody talks to each other, and I love that. You know what I mean? And I was talking to FW Mike, and he was like, I was asking him how you think power slap could grow. One way they could grow, and he was talking about how power slap puts a really big emphasis on like inviting celebrities to events, which is good, right? But he felt like they should do a little more for the media that's covering Power Slap because the media is pretty loyal to Power Slap. I mean, what's based off that, right? What's one thing Power Slap can do to improve numbers, to go forward, in your opinion? Not necessarily something they're doing wrong right now, but maybe something an idea that you have.
Idea that I have. Okay, so they do a really good job with the social media that they already kind of provide. The little moments and the things that they can use to capture all these moments. They do a really good job with that. Even with your like Slap News with Joe Scott, you know, people are understanding how the, the way and the trajectory of the way that the sport is going, and what are some of the bigger moments, just like how we mentioned earlier about the embedded. what are some of the bigger moments that we can be able to reach for or grab and cling to bring out so that way it gives a better story, a better backing to the strikers itself. Because at the end of the day, Power Slap is not Power Slap without their strikers. They need to have some kind of coverage on the back end to be able to hear this person's story, be able to spread the word with other people. So what they could be doing differently, not to say that they're not doing a good job now, is that they should be increasing kind of like the momentum of how they represent the person by getting them into other things outside of just the creations that they've made, all the
Understood.
curating that they're doing, all the content that they're doing, like at the very end. So just kind of really throw one at you is that I've opened up a company called Heavy Hitters Management. Me and my wife run the business, and because I'm a striker, obviously I can't have that like one-on-one. I'm the guy that's doing everything, and my wife has been in management and been in business for quite some time. She has some years under her, so she takes care of all that where it comes to getting the power slap strikers out and about. What is the next step for them, how they do, um if it's even just like PR, being able to teach them, hey, this is exactly how you carry yourself through an interview. This is exactly how you talk. This is exactly how you walk. And if you add this and apply this to your motion, you're going to become a well-rounded striker. You're not just the guy going out there hitting somebody in the face, and then after that, you kind of give a little cheer and shout, and you walk off the stage, and then nope, there's no real story or backing to you. There's no entertainment factor. So the Heavy Hitters Management has been able to bind together with another company called Full Scope. And Full Scope is Sean Chase. And he has these connections, whether it be in Vegas, whether it be in New Orleans, like just everywhere you could think of. He makes these connections with people to be able to get our strikers into different types of events, different types of things where it's going to only grow their social media. It's only going to grow who they are as people because even like this last one with, I know you go with Babyface every single time, and I'm going to go with Babyface in this one too, is that even with this last match that he had against Azael Rodriguez, Power Slap at that moment and the social media team wouldn't take him to go do extra content where it's like going to Live nightclub, getting his face plastered on top of a giant Tigertron, people walking up to him and they've got the party flares and a big sign saying, "Hey man, congratulations, babyface, you won." Big posters say he's got him with the two belts on him like this, and just creating a different type of moment outside of what Power Slap is creating within their spectrum. So Full Scope has that opportunity to be able to get people into those moments where it's like, okay, now you're in Live nightclub and you're doing these things where you're like, now you've got more eyes on you. It's an attraction now. There's something going on where if your social media was this small, it's going to continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Very next day, we have a full on thing with Encore, the beach club. Then we have the part where Babyface was there and he went up there and he was standing on stage with DJ Shaq. I mean, to
Huge.
a regular person, you're not going to get that opportunity. It's just not there. And then from Power Slap side of it, they only control what they can control. They only try to make the content for what it feels best for the building of Power Slap. So a little bit of an extension to where if they did all those other things, I mean, the possibilities are just endless. You're creating something where his following, my following, and everybody else that's in this sport is important. Like you got to create the backstory, the embedded, where he came from, what he's been doing, how he's been progressing, how his technique has changed. All these other moments that can be captured to create the baby face. Without Babyface telling everybody who Babyface is. Like that's those moments where it's different and it
It
needs it
was
needs to be
different.
that way. Way different.
I saw it different Whenever I
Hmm.
was there that weekend, I felt like everybody was announcing their partnership with Full Scope like 2 weeks before that pay per view. It
Hmm.
felt like that. Maybe my timeline's messed up, but I remember that something like that. Like they were signing a lot of people at that time. And then when I went there to for Power Slap 13, now I haven't met Sean Chase, I haven't met anyone from that team, but I'm just staying off of what I've seen on Instagram. Bro, it's like a humongous difference, you know? I was in my hotel room in Vegas going through Instagram. I see Babyface partying with Shaq. You know, Shaq is like everybody knows Shaq, bro. Like
Hmm.
no, like every household knows who Shaq is. You know? So that's a humongous thing. Good on you guys. Good on Sean Chase. Good on you for starting your own management because um, we have to we have to grow. We have to evolve, right? I started this channel 4 months ago. I started this channel. It has 4,000 subscribers on YouTube now in 4 months. You know, it's slow growth, but a growth at that. And you know, as I go, I'm changing a lot of things. You know, for example, I used to put subtitles on the shorts. Now I don't, and this and that, because we're building this. We're building this the same way Power Slap is building Power Slap, and they're trying to build you guys too, your social media profiles. It's very important for other people to come and help. Uh,
Right.
you
Yeah.
need it from the all different angles. Everything needs to line up. Everything.
More hands in the pot. You know, everybody's hands on, and they have one goal.
Yes.
One goal. How do we make this the biggest, the best, like make it gold, taking from nothing to something? How do we do that?
I've always said that the Power Slap personalities are marketable. They're very marketable.
Hmm.
Just have to find a way for people to start liking them and being invested in them. They have to
Correct.
fall in love with them, not what they do really. Because when from the outside, when they look at it, like the normal person on the street might think like, who are these crazy people? Like how they used to think about mixed martial arts, you know? And a lot of the fans like it takes a while to bring them in. So if somebody is working on making the athlete lovable, you
Hmm.
know, because realistically we know the personalities in Power Slap, a lot of great people in Power Slap, you
Yes.
know, a lot of great people, like actually good people. So yeah, we're just trying to. I just want to see people more invested in these athletes, and I think you guys are on your way. Can you tell me more about your company, Heavy Hitters? What is your goal? Only Power Slap or also any combat sports?
So right now currently it's power slap and power slap only. So after competing on season 3 and being in a house full of other guys trying to compete, trying to make a name for themselves, coming from different types of backgrounds, different parts of life, and then me being in that same room with them and then understanding and seeing how a lot of people were operating and how they were moving around and some of the same concerns that they have with them growing within the sport and me having that background and that experience and having all these hardships and all these pains and hurts and it where I was going to go with it is more of like we want genuine interactions, and you're only going to get that by bringing out the person that they are and just highlighting that. People don't want a painted picture of Starlight and Starbright and all the other things, and they don't want fake. People want real. They want real. They want to know how the struggles were for Babyface, the things that he's went through and how he's been able to build himself, the things that I went through, I've been able to build myself, the comebacks, where you make your comeback in life and how that shifts it. And those are those moments that should be highlighted to bring to because it's relatable. It's relatable to the people that are on the other side of the camera, that are in the crowd, that, yeah, this guy came from nothing and now he's something. He's building himself up. It's so much more inspirational when
Yeah.
you see something like that. And that's how you captivate people. That's how you really show is by being really genuine and really authentic and not painting a picture for everybody. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he's a superstar and he does this and he does that. A lot of people have that in them when they look at Power Slap and they're like, oh yeah, he's just this person. Little do you know, he goes through all the same struggles that you go through. He goes through all the same pains that and the relationships that you go through.
Yeah,
He goes through all the same falls, and that's the part where it's gonna make sense to the people to be able to fall. Same thing with me. Like, when I was on the season, and that was the big push, was being on season and experiencing all these people, living with them in a house, and then realizing that I'm along with them. We are in alignment. You know what I mean? There's a synchronicity that
yeah,
happens. Like, oh my gosh, man, this guy is going through some problems. And then say I've been through those experiences before, exactly the same pain that he's experiencing right now, whether it be family, whether it be relationship, whatever, being able to relate to that person, talk to them, and kind of walk them through it. Say, hey man, look, if you just did this, this, and this, your life would be just a little bit easier, a little bit better, more maintainable. You can figure out what's going on with you at that moment. Then just apply and do this, this, and this. And they're like, wow, okay. Now it becomes less of me chasing a title, me looking to be the champ. It's like that's always the goal, is to
yeah.
go for to be the top,
So you're
the
building
pinnacle,
a career.
the pinnacle. You want to be the pinnacle of everything. But at the end of the day, you have to have a good foundational block. And if you don't have a good foundational block, your house is going to shatter. It's not going to be the right thing. You have to start from the bottom up, and you have to be able to experience this and be able to help people. That's my biggest thing with this sport, is that it allowed me to get out of my head and think about, man, you're just chasing the title, man, you're just doing this, and really turn it into becoming the people's champ. I'm a champ all day. Doesn't matter what it is. As long as I'm helping people become the best version of themselves, becoming the next step, the next level, and helping them up themselves every single time. And I reset the bar for them. And then they go and jump up higher than the bar. And I reset the bar again, and they keep on doing it. It's building. That's the key
Yeah,
to everything. And go back right into it, is heavy hitters. Created the management company so that way I could get people that were really loyal, really just down to earth. They wanted to make something better for themselves, and they need a path. Hey, you know what? Let me go out there with my razor and my machete and cut that path for you.
yeah.
Let me do it. Bam, 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 bam. Now come, follow me. Follow me. Let me show you exactly how you're supposed to operate, how you're supposed to move, the way you need to walk, the way you need to talk. And it ain't fake, because when you come back up and you tell your story, that's where you relate to every single person out there in the world. That's you. That's real. That's real for you. And it's real for me, being the person, one guiding the way, being a leader, and then turning around and being like, I'm the guy behind. I'm not only the guy in front, but I'm the guy here, pushing everybody to go forward. So like people like Bryce Jones, Tyler Gross, Brandon Rhodes, these guys were on season 3 with me. They've seen how I operate. They see that I have a love and I care for them and for what they're trying to do in the sport and how they're trying to build themselves. And then they just realize that, wow, Pono's just not about himself. He's about really growing a family and helping people change their lives around in any way, shape, or form. But a small micro win or a very big win. At the end of the day, we set goals for ourselves, and we should be working towards that bigger goal. But every little win counts. Whether you fix your mindset, whether you fix your technique, whether you fix yourself in your life, your relationship, whatever it may be, it's a small micro win getting you to the bigger picture.
You're
Being the best.
definitely bridging a gap, right? With the idea that you have and the kind of attitude that you're bringing, you're gonna be
Mhm.
bridging a gap. So I'm looking forward to seeing the future with heavy hitters management. I'll be here to watch it all go down, bro. Pono, last thing I want to talk to you about. I know you're a busy man.
Nah, talk to me.
So
Let's go, man. You got my time.
today, today is exactly a month out from Power Slap 15, and we
Mhm.
still don't have a card. Why?
It's slowly building. You're in the mix at this point. You're in the mix where you've already had a lot of highlighted matches where you see people, chasing the top 1, 2, 3, 4 ranking, people that are trying to coming out of the pit where they're not even on the ranking and they're trying to jump up there. So I feel like with the progression of how the sport is going, that it's going to continuously be that where they have to make the right matches make sense, because if one thing goes offset from the match that they set up, the storyline, that's what they're doing. It's a creation of a storyline. And if you mess up one little piece of the storyline, you're going to end up crumbling, because then the next set of matches you set up is not going to make sense,
But
especially
how
when
much?
you
But how
go
much
ahead.
of a sorry to cut you off.
No,
How
no, go
much
ahead.
of a heads up do they have to give the athletes, because we're already a month out, so is like 2 weeks enough time to be ready?
So even with that the month out, I feel like in my experience, every time that I've been able to get ready for a match, it's been at this point right here. 3 weeks out, maybe possibly 4 weeks. You also have to understand that Power Slap has upped and increased their amount of events. Like now you've got events back to back, stacked, October 3rd, October 24th. You're talking about a 2-week span in between.
Yeah,
Like, this is the moment right now, just like you're saying, this is the moment where you have to give all for October 3rd's card, for October 24th's card. You have to give them a heads up. So I know for a fact that, you know, Power Slap in general, Frank, Erica, they're very smart and strategic in what they do. And they're trying to stack as much as possible with saying the least as possible. Because when I start leaking out and telling everybody, hey, it's this person versus this person, that person, and giving out my nuggets, well, then there's no excitement build up to anything that's going on. Now you know what's the match going on. Now there's no real like build up to what it is. And there's people won't people like to turn it. Our attention span over all these years has gone from this to this.
yeah,
You catch me in a 7-second window, you got me.
yeah,
You try to give me a 30-second to a minute window, I'm lost at the first 3, because now I know that I got to sit there for the whole 30.
yeah,
They shorten up the time span. They push everybody trying to do the exact same thing. And what has really changed is no more seasons.
yeah,
Now you got training camps.
yeah,
Training camps are a quick turnover. There are new people coming in. There's already a whole bunch of people sitting in the background. And now it's like, okay, I take this person, match with this person. I take that person, match with this person. And here's the heads up. I will have an like just like in the season, we have an alternative bunch of people that just if something happens, now we have this setup of people that will come in and jump in to be able to continue on with the match, whether it be hard on a weight cut, whether it be, just not physically or prepared, whether it be getting sick at the last moment. So when you look at it for a setup for how tight it is, it's gonna be chaotic. They're gonna try to stack in within the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then just start pumping out. Okay, you've got, you know, Pono versus Akir. You've got Aaron versus this person. You got that, like, and they're just gonna start doing that, because that's the way that they need to operate to make the sport still captivating, still more interesting. And then it sucks because it does cut timing on strikers, only because the fact that, like, I think they believe in the concept of you got to stay ready so that way you don't have to get ready. And I mean, without them saying anything, that seems to be the push.
mm,
No words. Hey, look, we're tightening up on things. What does that mean for you? You guys have to stay ready so that way you don't have to get ready. Don't have to cut 20 pounds at the last second.
yeah,
Don't have to look, like you weren't prepared for this.
yeah.
Always stay prepared, right? And Dante's Smiley, I give it to him right now in a podcast, in an interview. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
5 P's.
5 P's. And when I heard that,
Proper preparation.
proper preparation prevents poor performance. So you need to properly prepare yourself, whether you've got a match tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It don't matter. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's like me. And I'm not gonna shoot the shit with anybody and lie. Dude, I train every day. Whether it be resistance bands, whether it be lifting weights, I have a regimen. I have a routine. I wake up in the morning, I fix my bed, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, which I ain't got no hair, but I comb my hair.
Me and
I
you have that hairline in common.
come on, man. That's one of them. But I do the things necessary to be able to be ready for what holds ahead. Like you gotta be ready at all moments, at all times. And that's what they're trying to instill in all the strikers now, you know? Don't wait till the last minute to cut 30 pounds. Don't wait. Don't think that because of that, that you can't do it. Be ready for this. Start getting ready already. Like we don't have to tell you that October card is coming up and then now you want to prepare. No. You're in the sport for a reason.
Yeah.
Hold yourself at a professional level. Be ready at all times. If you're going to cut weight, try to be at the same weight that you're going to compete at. Be at that weight already, then put on a gain or put on and then that way when by the time it comes back, you got 2 pounds to worry about.
Yeah.
You can eat. You don't have to sit there being like, oh my gosh, I can't eat right now. And you're telling everybody that's scarfing down food right in front of you. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, what? You can't eat chicken wings. What? You can't eat bread. What? Like, and it's like, dude, stay ready so that way you don't have to get ready. You want to eat the chicken wings? Okay, be on weight. Dude, just be on weight, man. Just be ready for anything that's coming because that's how this sport is. It's so new. You're not gonna get the 3 months. Hey, it's not like the
Constant
UFC.
changing, constant changes.
It's not like the UFC. You're not gonna get a 3 month camp. There's no such thing. There's no 3 month camp. And because of the way that the sport is, where you're not mastering multiple disciplines, not worried about jujitsu, not worried about wrestling, not worried about stand and bang. I'm not worried about Muay Thai. Dude, you're slapping somebody. It's pretty straightforward point of the sword.
Yeah.
Like you got to practice technique and movement. You got to practice weight transfer because you can't move out of the box. You can't lift or pivot your feet. You can't step. Practice weight transfer. There's certain motions and movements that you got to go through to be the best version going out there and being able to battle. And
Yeah.
and what and then after that, once you've not mastered, but once you've applied consistency, discipline, in anything in life, consistency and discipline. And that's going to get you to always be ready, whether it's 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, a month out. They make the last minute call. They're stacking up the cards. But I'll let you know, because of the way that things are already moving and operating in the background and the matches that have happened, you're only going to get high level matches at this moment in time. For the rest of the way out, there's only going to be a few in between that is low level matches. It's going to be all high level matching from this point on because now it's starting to happen. People are starting to take it into consideration that you have to perform, act, and live and breathe as an athlete. You don't get off the couch and just come onto the show and then start whacking people and think that it's your natural born talent to be able to put people to sleep with a slap. There's training, there's preparation, there's mindset. You need personal development. You need mindset drills. You need to really hone in all these things and take all these parts. And I said it the other day. Just take all these parts and just like Captain Planet. How do you make Captain Planet? You unite all the rings. You get everybody together. You put all these pieces together to be able to become the ultimate guy. That's
Yeah.
it. And that's what they need to do. I mean, not to go on a tangent, but that's what people need to do in this sport to become the best. To become the best in it. You want to be the best, got to become the best. You got to do what the
Well,
best does.
whoever's whoever watched this interview just learned a lot more about Power Slap than they already knew. Because me, I've been watching Power Slap for a couple months, and I've and you kind of opened my eyes to a lot of the inner workings. I totally have a better understanding, so I appreciate that, Pono.
Yeah, no
Pono, are
problem.
you expecting a fight on on the 3rd or the 24th?
So just by the talks and me going back and forth in conversation with Erica, the matchmaker, she already had told me that like October 3rd probably wasn't something that I should be looking forward to as of being targeted to have a match. But she said, if you had your, because in the original conversations I've had with them, with Frank and Erica, was that I couldn't obtain my passport.
Mm.
Right? I'm just having a hard time getting my passport, and not just me, but a lot of people within the sport. They're just having a hard time just getting that back or
Yeah.
renewing or whatever it may be. So
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
So just from her two comments, man, if you had your passport, this would open the doors for you and possibly give you a match in international waters. Okay, time to dial in. How do I fix that?
Yeah.
What do I need from you to be able to fix this, to be able to get my passport
Step by
fast?
step.
Step by step. How do I do that? Instead of and you gotta be very vocal. That's another thing, and, like, I mean, if anybody's gonna take nuggets from that, take this. You gotta be very vocal about what it is. There's no reason to hide anything behind the curtains. Tell them exactly what you need to be able to become the best version, and then go. Shoot it. Do it. Attack it. Don't let it sit behind and be right here. Like, do it. Reach out for it. As soon as I knew, oh, I would have an opportunity if I got my passport. I got you. Check this out. Let me go and submit this off. Let me get a letter from you guys saying, like, so that way I can fix whatever's going on with it. Let me fix that. Oh, yeah, for sure. Here you go. We'll help you. Yeah, for sure. This is what it is.
You get shit
So
done.
I get shit done. That's it. You can't put something in front of me and I'm not going to be able to fix it. I will figure out a way. I'll figure out a way. No
Yeah.
matter if it's sacrifice of time, sacrifice of money, it doesn't matter. It's help. It's allowing me to get to the next level, and that's all it is. Is that we're not trying to stay stagnant in one level. We're trying to level up at every moment in time. So, long story short, I already reached out to Erica. We got all that stuff done. I sent in the passport stuff, expedited 1 to 2 weeks. It's coming back. As soon as that thing is in my hand, take a picture, send it off. Hey, remember when you set up everything about the passport? I am ready. Send me international. So I feel like Abu Dhabi might be a big thing for me. Saudi Arabia will be a big thing for me. And if not, they will. I mean, obviously, we're going to have more international cards all the way to the very end of the year to finish off everything. I think that that's where it's going to be. It's going to open more doors because we need that in the outside. Right now within the US, like, if I compete in Vegas, it's very Hawaiian dominant. The Hawaiian culture is there. I have a lot of following out there, a lot of good people that I know that would I mean, they'll drop a dime to come out and just come watch me compete and do exactly what I did with James Seekman on the stage, do exactly what I did with Cooper Housley on the stage. It's they want to see those kind of things and they want to hear the stories and they want to hear the buildups and everything else. And I know people will commit to that, being able to come out to Vegas. But
Yeah.
now my next scale is, how do I take that outside of the box? Because I can't just be where it's like I only depend on fighting within the grounds to make it happen for myself. Dude, how do I take my excitement, my entertainment to another realm, to another place? How do I make it happen over here? How do I make it happen over there?
Yeah.
So that way it's all the way around. I check all the boxes. That's a big one for me. I
Checking
do
all
a
the boxes.
checklist. I do a
Well,
checklist.
being in the game for as long as you have, you figured things out. Now you're gonna take that knowledge. You're gonna use it to manage other people. You're gonna help them. You're gonna be in the game. You're gonna be a veteran in the game. And the world is yours, bro. I really appreciate your time, Pono. We learned a lot about Power Slap in this interview. I can't wait to see you perform. I'm gonna be there in Power Slap 13. If I see you there, I will.
I'll be there as well, so I'll see you.
You'll be there. All right, perfect. Then I'll
Of
see you.
course.
Pono, is there something you want to leave the fans with?
Just like I said, in life, we're all going to go through things. There's always going to be the ups and downs and the roller coasters of life. You have to be able to slow it down, pace yourself, and understand that if you break things down, you can fix one step at a time. It's when you take on too much and overfill the cup is when you can't handle everything. Micro wins is important in life. This is not even just in Power Slap. This is in life. Micro wins will build a winner. You have to be prolific. This is a bar from my good friend Mike Barron. You have to be prolific in life. There's the normal, there's the crazy, and there's just on the edge where you're strategically planned to be the best version of yourself, and also be able to go out there and entertain the crowd, entertain the people, entertain what you're doing right now, and always make sure you're on the build. Take micro wins for what it is. Whether I wake up today, micro win. I woke up, I opened my eyes. I have an opportunity again today to be able to change my day from what it was yesterday. 1% better. Stack micro wins on top of each other becomes a bigger win and a bigger goal. Once that's done, reset the bar and shoot for the next goal. And if you live your life like that, stay consistent, keep yourself accountable, and stay disciplined to the craft, no matter what it is, power slap, life, you're going to become better.
Guys, you take Pono Pau's advice and good shit's gonna happen to you. Pono, I really appreciate your time, bro. Thank you so much. The
Thanks, man.
Hawaiian Assassin, guys. Thank you for watching. Never made weight. Pono Pau.
He's wearing a T-shirt that says "Never made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.